into this collective, into the culture. So it's a simultaneous thing. It's a self-discovery. It's a self-expansion, but it's also at the same time, as you keep expanding, in knowing that you are loved and that the connection is real, you will be able to bring that here more powerfully.
Yeah.
And that's part of your desire?
Totally.
Cool. So is there any way I can support you in that? Are you acting on that? Or is this the first time you see it like that?
No, I'm aware of that. I feel you supporting me
is anything blocking you? Or is it the need for is it the obsession with a particular, wanting the real relationship that's actually blocking you from letting it unfold?
Mm-hmm.
So which do you prefer? Do you prefer it to actually happen? Or do you prefer to try to make it happen?
I want it to happen, and I want to be in a place of bigger acceptance when it doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Do you trust people?
Do I trust people?
Mm-hmm.
No.
That's beautiful. Do you trust? Do you trust that everybody's innocent?
Yeah.
Nice. Can you focus more on that? That everybody's trying their best.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's trying to hurt you or anybody else or deliberately deceive.
Mm.
Can you bring that more into your consciousness when you're looking at people? When you're looking at me? When you're looking at Josh? When you're looking at people here? When you're looking at your parents, if they're still alive, or when you're thinking about them? Can you see that if you would have had the exact same conditioning, points of view, experiences as they had, you would have responded and done the exact same things?
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying their very best. Everybody's doing their best. Can you see that?
Totally.
Even when they're deceptive, like they don't know any better. So at the heart of that deception, there is real connection. They too long for real connection. They just don't know how to. So by seeing that in them, you can bring it out in them and in yourself. You can give them permission to trust themselves, that they're not actually deceptive. You can show them their innocence and their real connection by not focusing on the deception that they don't have any control over at this point, but on the innocence that's at the heart of that. The desire that's driving the deception. Because again, it's the desire for that connection that drives their deception.
Cool.
Can you see that?
Yeah, and it feels good to say that, focus on their innocence. And in the moment, it can be more challenging.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that as a goal.
Uh-huh. So why is it challenging in the moment? What gets triggered?
If I'm feeling deceived, there's like, okay.
Does that remind you of something?
Yeah.
What is it?
Parents.
Mm-hmm. Are they still alive?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see them regularly?
No, not regularly. They live in California.
Do you communicate?
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to say to them? And this can come from like completely irrational child hurt, or it can come from any other place. But like it doesn't have to be irrational, it doesn't have to be spiritual, it doesn't have to be. But you know that better than anyone. It needs to be real, right?
Yeah.
If you feel like it.
So the words that are coming are where were you?
Mhm. Can you feel that question?
Mm-hmm.
Does it hurt?
Yeah.
Do you feel left alone?
Yeah.
Can you see that in that moment you were bathed in the loving presence of creation? In the very moment when you were deceived and left, you
I
were
don't
bathed.
see that in this moment.
Okay. Can you see it happened exactly because you wanted it to happen on a deeper level? Not out of benefit. You want it to happen out of benefit. Can you see that there was a purpose that was unconscious to you at the time and now is starting to become conscious? There was a purpose to that experience, to that abandonment, to that feeling of being alone, that you yourself, from a higher dimension, if you will, wanted. You actually, from a higher point of view, you desired that experience. Can you see, therefore, that it's perfectly orchestrated and actually not ultimately malicious? So it's not that the universe is against you. It's not that you are alone. It is that you are actually completely bathed and surrounded and supported by that intelligence, by that beneficial, loving, never ceasing to connect with you energy, that intelligence, that consciousness, that pure, unconditional, loving, higher self energy, which is never separate from you. Can you see that that was present in that circumstance?
Yeah.
Can you see that neither you nor your parents realized that in that moment? That there was not that level of awareness at that time?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see how from the background, though, there was this witnessing, there was this benevolent, unconditionally loving, intelligent, present awareness that was, in a sense, keeping an eye on things. It was being present.
Mm-hmm.
Can you feel that?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see that the ignorance of all of the three human bodies are completely innocent and bathed in the vibrational orchestration of that moment for a particular purpose that eventually benefits all?
Mm-hmm.
Can you feel a little, maybe access to a little love for that situation? A little appreciation?
Yeah.
If you emphasize that love, that witnessing, that fact that you were with you, your higher self, that unconditionally loving, all-encompassing awareness was actually with you specifically at that day, at that moment, that period. You were not alone.
Yeah, there's a part of me that's still wanting to cross my arms. I'm like,
Yeah, sure.
But
Totally.
that's just a little part. I see also everything you're saying.
Mm-hmm. And just let the child do that. And just soothe it by shifting the emphasis from the story of they and me and aloneness to the seeing that there was this benevolent, ever supportive, caring presence. Even while you were like this, or even now as you feel like just feel that it's bathing you, like golden rays of light or whatever you will. However your imagination symbolizes that actuality of your higher self being there for you, with you. Just imagine that, being bathed in that presence, in that moment. And you can see your little character going a little nuts and going a little, taking things personally and perceiving as if divinity is in parents. But if you emphasize more in that memory, if you emphasize more that presence, that intelligence, that love-based intention that was there for that experience, if you can feel that and bask in that, you can see the total innocence of the ignorance of all people involved, and therefore it forgives. There's forgiveness. Not from the character to the character, because that's not possible in that particular story. But from the higher self to the characters.
Yeah, I have access to that.
Are you willing to see it that way? Or is there something else you need to work out or say before you can give yourself full permission to be there in that way?
In this moment, I feel ready to be there in that way. And then there's other moments where I don't.
And when you see the love in people, don't you just see the love in yourself? The innocence, the belonging, the non-separation, the realness, the real connection. Don't you just feel real and like, just there, just fully here, no agenda, just seeing the innocence of everybody that walks by, seeing the love that's at the heart of their being, which is the exact same that's at the heart of yours, which is the exact same heart that you desire. So you can stop analyzing people, unless it comes from a place of spontaneous joy.
I can stop doing what to people?
Analyzing them.
Analyzing.
If you want to. If you can find a relief in that, and see that every time you go out and try to, maybe more obsessively than your heart desires, try to get some kind of realness out of them and shake down into realness, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it can just become a little more balanced and a little more relaxed, you know, or more appropriate sometimes. So that so that you really see, you realize that it is your own heart that you desire. And when you relax and you see the innocence and the heart in people and behind their motives, that they're just blinders on, but they're driven by the search for love. If you can see that in them, then you're actually vibrationally, if you're in their presence, you bring that out in them. And you give them more permission. And at the same time, you feel yourself and your own agenda is relaxing. Because suddenly, you don't need to get it from anyone. You see, I'm here to give it because I am, and I could never get more of it. I am unconditionally, unlimited, unconditional love. Forever connected, never, ever alone.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Thank
I
you
love
so
it.
much.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate your openness, your realness. And I hope that you can take it easy on yourself too. In this way, like we just went through, that you can take it easy on yourself. Because you're the only one who can do that. Your parents are not going to take it easy on you, you know. You can do that by loving yourself. Sinking more into the love within. And that will all clarify and resolve whatever sort of ties you still feel are there sometimes toward or that. Just be really, really sweet to yourself.
Cool.
And you'll be really, really sweet to others too. Not that you're not, but you know. You'll be more like.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.